Good morning, Matt. How are you?
Good morning. I am doing good. I'm
Hanging in there.
A lot of work being done.
A lot of work. I know. Coffee, water.
Water, yes, but no coffee.
No coffee. Okay. I'm in the middle of my coffee, so I'm still waking up, but we're here. I'm excited. Yeah. What do you have going on for your day today? Like, what is life looking like?
There's just a lot of kind of administration work, and I'm just doing a lot of market research actually, especially this week on where SaaS is. If you look at Adobe, Atlassian, some of the big enterprise stacks, SaaS companies are all down.
Yeah.
And my company, we have a very low cost solution. But what I'm seeing is a lot, at least when their customer base, with their agency owners, or maybe they're like a freelance web developer, but have a small, a decent, more than 3 websites under the portfolio. They're downscaling their expenses right now.
Right.
And they are doing it in a way that's super aggressive because AI can make custom software for them now. Right. So maybe before you could get away with, like, I'm gonna buy the CRM and it does like 80% what I need, maybe 90, but the other 10 to 20 I don't care, or it's confusing, or I wish I could know it but I can't.
Right.
A lot of folks are just using AI to make their own bespoke software.
Right.
That does exactly what they want, and they're able to do it in a day or less. And the software is just maintaining them. So they just need to run it, they just need to host it on their machine. They don't need like a cloud service or anything. Or the folks that are a little bit more savvy, they could put it on a private server that's on the cloud, and just have it for their local group. And again, that's enough. They only need to pay for the server costs and the API. A lot of them don't use AI in the app. They only use AI to create it. So like, it's a really these are low cost solutions. So they're building CRMs.
Yeah.
Some of them are building websites. You got people building websites with OpenClaw, which is crazy.
Yeah. So you're seeing this downward shift in software in general, and you are a software company.
Yeah, I mean, we see it in our customer base. I mean, we've lost at least one big client recently. I don't think it was necessarily due to this reason, but there's definitely a trend because even sales are not where they should be from a net new sales, at least.
Okay.
And usually quarter 1 just sucks every year anyway. Because December you scale down. January, hit or miss. February is tightening the budget. This is what we've always seen. And then once April rolls around, everything, I mean, sometimes, I wouldn't say everything, but like sometimes it kicks back up aggressively. But there's definitely a big change where I see that there is resentment with AI. So our software is around AI solutions. So a lot of folks are using AI so much, and when they get turned off, it's like we get part of. They're throwing the baby with the bathwater. So like we're part of that thing. If people are kind of saying this is AI slop, we want to be anti-AI, and like they're doing it out of spite because their own jobs are being taken over by AI or whatever their own services. So they're spiting the whole process anyway.
Yeah.
But like that's where like the market is just creating their own software right now. They're not at the stage of can they maintain it yet. And I think not just companies like mine, but I think more importantly, the bigger ones like Adobe and stuff, they don't, these companies are making their own software. I don't think they understand that they have to maintain it, but they're not there yet. They haven't hit the stage of, this broke and it cost me a lot of money. We're not there yet. We're at the stage of, I can build this. Look what I can do.
Interesting. Because we haven't had the amount of time and bandwidth to allow the things that we're building with AI to run and manage, to then say, we actually need someone to be actively managing whatever we built with AI.
Right. Yeah. And what happens if it breaks? What about disaster? What about all the skill sets that are needed to make sure things are live? Or
would you say the role is shifting then with that statement, that now instead of maybe developing and building, you're just troubleshooting and managing?
Well, that's been like that for like, I think 9 months. Since Claude Code came out in July, I would say the market has aggressively turned developers into that. But that's just at a developer role. So if you think about it at a generalist role, it's way more expansive. And the generalists are our target market, right? They're not the developers. They're the folks that are solopreneurs. That they have a small agency. Some of them have large agencies, and these folks are just turning down. They're canceling all their software. Yeah. All I would say all non-essential software, and they're seeing. I think a lot of folks are seeing some of ChipBot as non-essential because they can just remake it, even though they remake it, it works the first time. It's not like they're continuously testing it on their website. They need their client to say, "Hey, what's wrong?" And they need to hit the pain of saying, "I don't know what's wrong. AI can't fix it. I'm stuck." They're not there yet. So until they're there,
the market is going to kind of drop a bit, and then it's going to start picking up again for a service of managing the thing or just supporting and kind of.
I mean, do you have I think of AI consultants that will pick up the dirty laundry that these other folks created, right? Yes, that's a different opportunity. Yeah. I don't want to be part of that opportunity, but there's a different opportunity. No, it's the other one where they're frustrated with AI and they're losing money, and they realize this is not sustainable to do it myself, because to hire an AI consultant or to hire a full-time AI person is $70,000, $80,000 a year. Sure. Right? So then they're going back to the SaaS solution anyway. The thing is, the small business owners, I think once they exit SaaS and do it themselves, I don't think they're the type of people to say, I want to restart and go back to SaaS. I think they're the folks that ever say, let me see if I can try to get this to work because it is cheaper. Mm-hmm. And that's the conundrum I have with ChipBot, which is, do we go more upmarket then? Because that's actually the natural progression. You go upmarket, you target SMBs, you charge higher amounts. But these are all like kind of the realm of possibilities, but that's what I'm kind of like having a pulse on with the market is, where things are right now with my specific target audience, but then the macro effects of AI. And I mentioned Adobe. I will say maybe they're like an outlier because Adobe has been charging a lot of money for the software. It's just now, I don't think it's the AI tools building software it's making replacement. I think in this case, it's like Nano Banana 2 or VO 3.1 or Sora 2. I think that software is making Adobe less attractive. And then, Apple came out with their own Creative Suite, I think like a month or two ago. And it's super cheap, and we don't need the advanced tools anymore. We just need basic editing because AI can do the crazy stuff that even weird tools.
Yeah, it's shifted what you even need to have as a software solution when you mix the software solution with the AI.
Yeah, we just need basic cropping, resize, make the file smaller. Like that's all the tools we need now. We don't need, and if you're like,
so AI has allowed software to regress.
No,
basic functionality.
People look at AI as half glass full, half glass empty, and I see it as, for the folks that know what they're doing, AI is an accelerator, and for the folks that have no idea, AI is a detriment to their future. Okay. And I have two examples. One, personally, with software development, like I can make anything I want. Literally, I did some prototype apps on the side, and the things I've made within 4 hours, because I would probably quote like 3 to 6 months of work, and it would be probably $100,000 plus, and the quality is like, I don't even want to use the word vibe code. I had 4 or 5 agents working on a project at the same time. Okay. And I think I looked at like 3 lines of code, but I knew exactly how to architect it. I just know it from the ground. So I put these agents working in different silos of the app. but it's all still one project.
Okay.
Got what I needed to get done almost in one shot. There were a couple issues with some of the sub agents that they were getting stuck on a certain problem that I had to get through past them. But other than that, software is
when you say troubleshoot, bring me into the world of, for you, a software developer, what do you do in those instances when you have to troubleshoot something it's not working?
Well, it's not working. So how do I know it's not working? I test it myself. Well, I see the issue because of my background. I would say, here's how I would solve it. This is probably the problem. Go do it like this.
So you're using your education, training, and skill sets as a software developer to say in your prompting, this is how I would solve this. This isn't working.
Well, I've never been trained. This is all from experience.
Got it. Well, I'm just saying all of your experience, right?
Yeah.
So when you're saying I troubleshoot, it's because you know as a software developer that there is a problem and you probably know how to reprompt or fix it within your prompting, which I would say even to use AI to create a software something, what you just said of how you troubleshoot when AI is not delivering what you need, you still need to have the training or experience or education as a software developer to know that AI is not working.
That's not true either. If you don't have any experience, there's also a way to use AI to bridge that gap.
Yes.
And it's just common sense. It's just common sense, right? Yes. So if you want to get to my level of software development, all you have to do is understand and break down what makes me unique or what makes another developer unique, and understand what that is. Put an SOP around it, and then you just have to do one extra step every time you do development is you have to run through that SOP before you prompt. That's all it is, because it is a process, right? Things broke. I knew exactly what happened, what I'm going to do if it breaks.
Yeah.
But if something breaks on your end, you don't know. So you just tell AI, go fix it. You're going past the step that I do.
Right.
Yeah. That's all. But that's all you would need to do. So anyone who is green in any discipline, all you have to do is say, study an expert. Understand what an expert does. You really become the expert by asking the expert as all the questions, and all the answers that AI comes out, put that into a standard operating procedure. Once you have the standard operating procedure, you know, if this issue happens, this is what you do. If this issue happens, this is what you do. And then you put that around AI. And then you always have to consult 2 prompts at once. That's the only thing. Don't go in plan mode. Don't do any of that bullshit. You just have to have 2 consultants at the same time. Mm-hmm.
Well, so what I've done somewhat to the SOP thing is I've actually used AI, so Gemini, ChatGPT, to ask it the question of become my expert software developer, and asking it to actually give me information of what you would know or what someone with software development background.
But surface level and biased.
Yes, that's the thing. So I'm trying to get my SOP or what I'm missing in my step of when I'm prompting and building something. This isn't looking right. This isn't functioning right, but I don't know what it is from a software development standpoint to go in and fix.
This is where the common sense comes in, right? You have to really look at software. If it's a software solution that you're trying to do with AI, break it down in common sense.
Yes.
Right?
Like you're talking to someone like a child and you're explaining.
No, the SOP part.
Oh, okay. What do you mean?
Here, when I prompt, if you look at my prompts, they're literally one words. They're like one sentences, I mean. And they're it's broken English. I am not describing a single thing, because I've already broken it down in my head.
Give us an example of a one sentence prompts that you've used.
Make this area of the site be able to drag this component to the right and make sure ordering is preserved.
Okay. Got it. So it's a very clear direction of what you need.
And that was built on the previous work that I prompted that was set up for success, so it could be prompted on top of.
Okay.
So if I start net new, So because now you kind of see, right? I'm able to do one shots because of the previous work. Say I'm starting net new.
Yeah.
Those prompts are basic too, but I'm building blocks. I'm building very key foundations. I build one block, build another block, build another block. You build a whole foundation, then you can build these one top. So I'm doing a lot of very small one-shot prompts.
I see. So you're like layering.
Architecturally, I know it's hard to fail in these situations. Set up your system so it can't fail as hard. And that's how I build software with AI. It's also how I mentioned on a previous podcast, I was fixing my bike the other day. Same thing. Just I could look at the bike and just understand how mechanically how this stuff works. All I have to do is describe what I think from common sense principles, what direction I need to go, and AI can give me the answer. And that was it. And that eventually led me to YouTube because I needed to see a visual. I needed to see it working in real time, not just reading it. But it allowed me to search also. I knew what I was searching for. Now I knew the exact keywords that were exact to the problem I was having. So that's really how you can use AI. You don't need experience at the core minimum. You need common sense to build up the experience gap that you have. Because you can't also say use common sense and don't learn the experience and then do the AI. That doesn't work because you can, maybe one day it'll work, but the next day it won't because it's very draining.
Yes.
You need to actually learn. You need to learn so you're not forgetting things and going to recall. You have to really learn what AI is giving you to say, if you're going to become an expert, here are the things you need to know. Really use AI to learn at least the structure and how all the dots connect. Build an series of SOPs around that. So if you're trying to become a software developer through AI, one of the first SOPs is when you troubleshoot a back-end database problem, here are the things to do. It's very specific. It's not saying troubleshoot a problem. It's very specific.
Yes.
You get you get that level of granularity from AI originally anyway.
Right.
You give AI to give a series of detailed things that a profession would do, and then build process around that. And once you have that, now you have your AI consulting here. That doesn't become your plan mode. That becomes your, here are things I'm trying to accomplish. Then you go in your actual execution mode. That you can go, if you don't know what you're doing, you can do plan mode, but you prompt it based on what this other thing is telling you.
Interesting.
And then you build upon it. You keep building upon it.
Yeah.
That's all you need if you're a junior. It's one extra step than I do, but that's in replace of all the experience I have.
So with this argument, getting back to that original point, it's if someone like me who has no software background or experience whatsoever of building software can now build things with AI tools, which I have, and now you can. So we're arguing these large software companies may not become obsolete. Maybe we're arguing that they're downsizing drastically because they don't need the amount of people there.
No, it's a two-way street. It's not.
Okay.
It's the people buying it don't, but like I said, Adobe's an outlier. But let's take Atlassian. They sell project management software.
Yeah.
But why do you need, you can recreate Jira in less than a day with Lovable. For sure.
Yeah.
Right. And it costs per seat. So if you're an agency, you got 10, 20 folks, you're paying $200. I think more, maybe $200 maybe a month just for that software, or you can rebuild it, tailor it to your business, and just host it for $10 a month.
Yeah.
Right. And it doesn't need like crazy things that Jira does. So that's where a lot of the market is. So I think super high end is probably hitting not high end, super like enterprise software. I think is hitting a headwind, and then on the other side of the spectrum, affordable software, it's in a weird spot because we're getting bundled with the same tactics or flow. We're getting bundled with the enterprise ones, but for different reasons. They can build software all they want. So why would you need to buy even cheap software? You can just build it.
Right.
So we're kind of getting bundled up with that. And because of that, we see less interest on Google. We see less interest in ChatGPT queries. We used to get a lot of referrals from ChatGPT, now they're less. There's a trend downward with high intent buying, but then there's a trend upward with how these things work, because they're trying to build. I'm not going to say all of them are trying to build it, but there's definitely. I think it's a good indicate, maybe a major contributor that people are trying to build their own tools now, because they're trying to research how they work.
Yeah.
Right. So we see that. So less high intent search, more curious informational search. And we see that too. We would post educational videos or whatever. They get views, and we're like, what? Some of them get comments, and like, well, how come these don't get interest back to our website like they did last year?
Yeah.
And these are all anecdotal, but I think it's for sure people are just testing out making software, because I'm doing the same thing, and I'm a technologist too. I'm not buying any software. I'm downscaling myself with a lot of software expenses.
Same, me too. I was just going to say that there's a lot of things that I'm looking at that we pay for, that I decide, could I just create something like this? And there's a lot I could create with AI. I also don't want to, right? But I could. There's a lot of systems, there's a lot of processes, there's a lot of support that I look in the back end and go, I could probably use an AI tool to replace this for me and then save that monthly cost. So I think I'm definitely like on the cusp of, is that worth my time in AI to spend 2 to 3 to 4 hours to like create whatever this functionality is giving me that I'm paying for with this software?
You haven't hit the bug of the builder bug, because if you love building and seeing the outcome, it's a runaway train effect.
It's like a runner's high. You just can't stop.
You just keep going.
I could see that.
Not everyone some people just don't like software. So it's not everyone's
I don't love
thing.
Software. I'm definitely a forced talent, but I'm also very curious about it. So an example I'll use is, I think my biggest feat that I've used AI for so far is my personal AnnGillespie.com speaking website. And I use Lovable to create that, manage that. Anytime I get feedback, anytime I get something new, I use it still to edit and manage it. I actually went and prompted an entire SEO strategy and then plugged that in the prompt. So I did all of my SEO through prompting, with all of the meta tags, all the back end of like what you would have on a traditional website. And we're still kind of testing to see the technicalities of like Google liking AI compiled websites and like if the SEO is still there. But the AI searchability and also some of the local search seems to be doing really well with it, but I also don't know. So where I am is this. When I first got in there and started playing with it, I was like, okay, maybe it was like an hour of my time, right? And I started putting something together and I was like, oh shit. And I got the little bit of a, whoa, this is cool. The next time I went in to work on it again, I got a bit more of that bug. And I've learned so much in prompting. I think I've been using AI for over a year now and had AI consulting like 2 years ago. I don't remember when I first had it. And I'm still extremely beginner. But what I know about it, enough to be dangerous.
That's good. I think everyone is enough to be dangerous, though, to be honest, right?
Because
all you do, you're one prompt away from blowing a server up.
When I got in there the second time, it was so addicting. I spent 3 straight hours in there and I couldn't leave and I couldn't get out because I got that bug. I kept telling exactly what I needed, what I wanted. And then from running an agency for 12 years and working with developers, I knew the language of what I needed to say in different areas enough of being involved in all of those conversations and those website builds. And then I too have used website builders in the past to build some of my websites or a client's website for me, which I'm not a website developer, but I know enough to do that. So it was really fascinating. And I will say, the learning that happened of reprompting, or like what you've said, you do one sentence, just a few words, and then you layer on to that foundation that you gave it. I understand where you're coming from with all of that because I started digging in and it was just a 2-word change. It was nope, not that. And then it was increase the margin or hero goes here. Or like, it's just real quick, little, very straight, detailed directive things, but very specific, even like move over 1 inch and then move. And so it's just very specific of like placement of everything, content of everything. colors, using color palettes. I use attachments like a boss. So it's like you go pull from here, you use files, use resources, use comparisons. I go to find like a hero image and a header that I did want it to display and model after. I'd go throw that website in there and say, just like this section. It's like a beautiful result when it has a visual example of what you want it to do. So like I just learned a lot in that 3 hours, but it was just, I was obsessed. And it was like one of those nights where it was like midnight and I couldn't get out of it. And I was like, this is so fucking cool. And for me to go through and use this kind of tool and feel powerful with it and feel like I know how to use it now, I think my entire website over 4 different sessions, maybe over a month or 2, was about like 7 to 8 hours all in for building what I have now. And then now I just go back in and just do little updates. And then like yesterday, I just noticed on the mobile shit was out of line. So I was like, great. On the mobile version of this website, here's what you need to do, but on mobile only, not desktop. So it was like just learning exactly what to tell my tool. I'm like, this is great. The feedback I've gotten on it, like not like it really mattered, but I sent it to a bunch of my designers and my developer friends. I'm like, what do you think about this? And like everybody was like, this is phenomenal. This is beautiful. This is great. So I was like, okay. So like I didn't just create a shit site.
I think that's where this year a lot of folks are going to come to terms that, if you're a developer, and now with the Nano Banana 2 just came out, and I think if you're a designer, graphic designer, it's either you're going to not be able to adapt, or it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to you. I don't think there's anyone in the middle.
Interesting.
I'm looking at it as like the folks that are in the middle don't know what they don't know, and unless they have common sense, they also get left behind. I think the idea of being retrained is different, because in a lot of these skill-based trades, half the reason you're hired is because you know something that other people don't know. That information value is gone now. So what is remaining? Your ability to execute. Not everyone has the ability to execute, but a lot of folks definitely have the knowledge. A lot of people, that's a big portion of layoffs happened last year in the tech industry because, in the year before, because it's very easy to see who's an executor, who's a builder, and who's just an information person. Right. And if not a builder, it's actually better to be a builder and be naive than to be an informational person, be a keyboard warrior. Yeah. Right. We're at that stage, and businesses are seeing, it's like, if these guys are just information, we don't need them. And then if you look at the market, a lot of folks are they're not like, it's not one or the other, but a lot of folks, I would say 60% information, 70% information, because building and executing is always the hardest piece. So naturally, the majority are going to be against it, or not against it, less adept to it. Okay. So if you look at AI, what AI plugs in, well, then only 30% of the market actually is seeing a boost, not just in productivity, but in their own finances. Because maybe one developer could be 100 developers with that person versus. But okay, so here's the argument of devil's advocacy. So wouldn't you want to keep the thinkers and the keyword masters, because now the AI tools can do the doing for those people, versus keeping the doers who activate and they're just a bit more naive? Wouldn't you want, because the AI is going to do the things for you, so wouldn't you want the thinkers? I have 2 comments on that. So the first comment is more adjacent to this idea, which is, I don't need to know anything. All I need to know is how to look up information to get the information. Right? If I have a tool to get the information, I don't need to ever know it then. Ever. I see that point. Now let's look at the point. Now my other note is, the folks that are really, really understand things but can't build. Well, as you work for a company and you are tasked to say, what now takes 4 weeks, now you got to do it in 1 week. Those people are not going to adapt to that speed. And the reason why that speed is necessary is because their peers, either in the same company or in another company, are doing it.
Yeah.
There's a new expectation. It has less to do with the company being sympathetic or being adaptive to that person, and more about looking at, we're a business, we need output value. What you know is great, but is he equating to the value that is meeting market expectations?
That's interesting. So it's like staying in line with the market.
I would think being ahead, but at bare minimum, being in line. Yeah.
Being in line with, So if your fellow peers are able to execute and activate on something in a week or less, and you are still thinking about it and you're planning. This is funny. I just did a reel the other day similar to this. It was like, don't let coaching stall the doing. Because I think for a lot of us solopreneurs and small business owners, especially as I seep into the speaking business, it's very easy to stall in the thinking and the planning and in kind of sitting with this information and then getting more information. And then there's all these people who want to coach you. Right. There's so much coaching out there. And at some point I just said, no, stop. Like, I don't need coaching. I need doers. And I literally said no to an amazing coach who I look up to deeply in the industry of speaking, and was thrilled that they wanted to coach me. And then at the same time, I was like, wait a second, I don't need more coaching. I need to go do. I need to put the reps in. Right. I need someone to help me actually book shit and video that shit, and then put all of that on social media and online to then apply it to my applications to speak more. It's just putting in the reps. So what is the skill set that I hate doing, which is producing high quality and entertaining content? Because I just don't love that. And I've kind of hobbled along for that for decades of my own of just, I'll do it. And I finally just said, you don't need coaching. You don't need more thinking. You need to just go do and go execute. And I agree with you. You have to do it quickly. Either you or the person you hire or your AI tool, you have to have the ability to think of something, execute on it, and put it out there. Right. Like you say, ship it. You just have to go, because literally people will use coaching and thinking and strategy sessions and planning as a stall tactic to move forward and do, because the doing can be really scary.
Oh, that's a good point. I never thought stall tactic is probably the number one thing, but not I don't think people do it on purpose.
They don't. They don't
stall it in a way. I think for sure they stall it in a way of it's almost, I call it overthinking. They're literally trying to think of everything when you don't have to go that far, especially today.
Yeah. Just go do it and test it. Like what you say all the time, you do A/B testing or you just test shit. I've come into your camp more so in the last year, I would argue, of just putting it out there. You're just being brave. You don't have to edit it. It doesn't have to be this most beautiful, amazing thing every time. It's just putting the reps in and it's shipping it. And I think that is so valuable, to be a high executing person that you can just constantly deliver. And you can use AI or you can use any other tool or person, whatever you feel comfortable with, to just put it out there and go and do the thing. And then you learn from doing. And then you say, oh, that's broken. Or, oh, it's just like you're prompting. It's a layer of correction in the human form, because you're doing, you're shipping, you're marketing, you're saying it. This podcast, we're just going to keep shipping 2 a week. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're planning along the way. We're finessing. We're adding layers of correction. We're saying, oh, we want to do this way, but we ship it. And I know there's so many people. I have friends that are like, oh, I've wanted to start a podcast for years. And I just keep, I don't have the right name for it or the right theme, or I'm not quite sure what I want to talk about. I'm like, just hit record, man. Right. And just go. And it's going to evolve for you.
So that's right? The 60%, 70, 60, 50, between 50 and 70. Yeah, 60 and 70, I would say, of people that are like that, is they think and they really they want to get all the details in first.
Yes.
And those are the folks that are getting left behind. That's why I said there's no middle. I don't think there's a middle ground, because if you did things, you wouldn't be stuck. And then actually AI becomes an accelerator. Yes. I think AI, how much accelerates now differs per person depending on that ratio. Sure. But it's one or the other. Either you get left behind because you don't actually execute. You don't execute. And then the other half is you do. And then the folks that do will move forward. Anyone who doesn't, they're left behind. They change careers, whatever happens. I don't think you can get retrained on it. I really don't think. I think you can go to a course and be like, here's how to use AI, but if you weren't already executing in the first place, it's just another tool that's not going to get you anywhere.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to then start overanalyzing the usage of AI and all the AI tools out there, and then they're not going to make a decision. No, they're not going to make a decision of what AI tool they even want to use. They're just going to start analyzing all the AI.
I wouldn't go that far. I think what I've seen as pattern is they prompt literally for 8 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, but I have some friends that literally are in the stall thinker frozen state of over planning versus executing. And they're serious. That was like a joke, but half serious. Of in my network, there are people that are just for weeks on end. Like they'll come back to a coffee with me that we already talked about this a while ago. And I'm like, wait, are you still making this decision? Like, well, what is your favorite AI? I was like, I don't have a favorite. They're all just whatever you make them. Yeah. I'm like, I use Gemini,
I don't have a favorite either.
Atlas. I've used Claude. I use ChatGPT. I've used Lovable. I have there's so many out there. I'm like, I don't even have time to actually go in and analyze and overthink about them. I just want to get shit done. So I have my go-tos of what's easily accessible. And I'm like, I don't even know it's the right one. I don't really care. Like, I just need to get shit done. And I think that's literally a personality trait. It's like a mindset shift of shifting into that executing mode versus planning and thinking. And I used to be very much so. When I met you, I was very much that planning, thinking, overthinking, stalling. And I still have a component of that in my brain because I'm so strategic and I'm also overly critical. But at the same time, I think I've gotten so comfortable with all my different relationships of whatever we're doing, this podcast, some of my business colleagues, some of these partners that just allow me the comfort of just go ship it because you guys are modeling what that looks like to just go do. And I'm like, oh, I'm missing out on so much progress or so much feedback and information because I'm just not doing it to see how it even resonates.
I think you were doing a lot before you met me, actually. You had a lot of things going on. So
I had a lot of things going on.
You were critically thinking of yourself. I think you are definitely, you're just a high achiever. That's really all it is.
I'm a high achieving.
So you overthink, but you also do it at the same time. So you just want everything done. Yeah.
But the doing was very forced. I was very comfortable in planning, coaching.
Everyone is. I think I'm the only exception. I get bored. Like if I don't have a reason to wake out of bed, I get annoyed. So like I need to
But see me, like for me, the planning and the talking and the strategy was all with people. And I'm such an extrovert and I get so much energy with connecting with people. Cause like we talked earlier, like how strong my network is. That is my golden ticket. I collect people. And then like I just had dinner last night on this topic with a college friend who I haven't seen in 2 decades. And she and I had so much, and somehow through socials, we have been circulating in each other's life. And we're very much energy people where I'm like, there's a reason someone will come back into your life at that moment. And we truly believe that. And so last night was no exception. We had a 4-hour dinner and then proceeded to go back to her place, meet her husband. We had tea, like we couldn't stop connecting. And it's because I think when you are such a people person, when you want that connection, that's me in my personal life and at work. And at work, that's why it gets really tricky for me because the people and the connection is involved in the planning and the thinking and the strategy and the soundboarding. And it's so easy for me to gravitate to that because I would rather do that all day long. I tell my husband every day, if I could get paid to just wake up and talk to people, I would. And that's what I'm shifting.
What are you trying to do? Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard for me sometimes to have like a cave day. I call them like admin, where I'm just deep into task management and creating and executing and doing and getting shit done. I don't like those days, but some days, there are few days in my months that I like those days, but they're few and far between.
I think, as we think about this new era we're coming into, I think it's just interesting. I think it's changing your life, changing my life, but it's not doing it in direct ways where like, I think people are finding jobs. AI definitely feels more direct, but for us, it's kind of layered. It's like, AI impacted there. That's neat. And then AI impacted there. That's cool. And then like, oh, there's a little impact here, whatever it is. And you see it now. And you also see it against your peers now. You see it against, you see it, it's in your network. It's in the marketing of the world. It's in, even, like my parents are talking about AI, and it's like, that doesn't even make any sense. So I just think it's interesting. This was a great conversation. We got like a really good pulse of where AI is.
I really enjoyed this conversation.
It's kind of life too. So I think it's cool.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt. This is a good one. Have a good rest of your day.
See ya.